A name can become a wound. Stalingrad is such a name. It speaks of a city turned to dust, a battle that became the graveyard of an army. Wide, sun-baked plains of southern Russia. Two of the most powerful military forces collided. Summer of 1942. For the Third Reich, Stalingrad was to be erased, and a strategic prize on the path to the Caucasus oil fields. For the Soviet Union, a line in the blood-soaked earth, a place where the retreat had to end. More than a city, a battle for the soul of a nation and the future of a continent. To understand the scale, look at a map. The German front line, a jagged scar, hundreds of miles long. Army Group B drove east for Stalingrad, the Volga's vital artery. Operation Blue relied on speed, firepower, and a belief the Soviet soldier would break. The Battle of Stalingrad was not fought by Germans and Russians alone. It was a multinational vortex that pulled in soldiers from across Europe under Axis and Allied banners. The primary force was the German Wehrmacht, specifically the 6th Army, highly trained, confident in tactics and technology, the tip of Hitler's spear. Professional and disciplined, yet unprepared for urban ruin. Allies guarded the long flanks, Romanians north and south of Stalingrad. Poorly equipped and lacking training, Italians suffered in the cold. Their anti-tank weapons failed against T-34s. Hungarians were committed and bled. Small units from Croatia and Slovakia. Defenders were overwhelmingly Soviet, the 62nd Army under General Vasily Chuikov. Veterans, conscripts, and local workers' militias bore the brunt. There is no land for us beyond the Volga. No US or British troops, but aid, trucks, jeeps, radios, food, raw materials, flowed via Murmansk and Iran. The sheer ferocity of Stalingrad was fueled by an incredible array of weaponry, from simple bolt-action rifles to tanks and aircraft. The German K-98K and Soviet Mosin Nagant were the soldiers' constant companions. In the city, submachine guns ruled. The German MP-40 and the Soviet PPSH-41 spat fire in rooms and trenches. Machine guns dominated streets and plazas. From light MG-34s and DP-27s to heavy water-cooled guns dug into strong points. Panzers were effective yet vulnerable in the urban canyons. The T-34, sloped armor, powerful gun, often served as a mobile pillbox. Artillery shattered the city, pulverizing blocks into rubble. German 105s and massive Soviet 152s turned buildings to dust. Mortars dropped death over walls into trenches and courtyards. Above, Stukas terrorized. IL-2s shredded German lines. Grenades, flamethrowers, and engineer charges carved paths through ruins. Snipers, like Vasily Zaitsev, could pin a platoon, making a street crossing a life-or-death gamble. From open steppe to concrete hell. The battle began as a war of motion in late summer 1942. This was the Wehrmacht's art, speed, coordination, shock. They raced to encircle and annihilate in the open. Under that sky, a man felt small against an iron tide. Then the city swallowed them. The steppe gave way to a labyrinth. Movement became attrition. Meters, not kilometers, now mattered. The battlefield turned vertical, underground to rooftop. The front is a line on a map. In Stalingrad, the front was everywhere. Rattenkrieg. Soldiers avoided streets, blasted through walls, battled for stairwells and corridors. The vast factories became fortresses. Sometimes only a wall separated life from death. As autumn bled into winter, the Russian cold took the field. Temperatures plummeted into a deep, punishing freeze. This cold was lethal. Men without winter gear lost fingers, toes, even noses. A soldier wrote, "We are freezing and starving. Our hands are stuck to the metal of our guns." Engines refused to start. Lubricants froze. Rifles had to be thawed. Storms often grounded the Luftwaffe. The Red Army, though suffering, was better prepared. T-34s on wide tracks kept moving. Thin German supply lines snapped when Operation Uranus sealed the pocket. the airlift delivered a fraction of the 750 tons needed. Mass starvation followed. Rations dwindled to sawdust bread and watery soup. The rest was desperation. Disease spread, will eroded. General Winter and the Red Army dismantled the Sixth Army from within. The cold showed no mercy. In mid-November 1942, the Soviet High Command prepared a stunning blow. On November 19th, a massive counteroffensive smashed through Romanian, Italian, and Hungarian lines. Soviet tanks met at Kalach-na-Donu. In 4 days, the trap closed. Over 250,000 Axis troops were encircled. General Paulus asked to break out. Hitler ordered, "Hold positions, do not surrender. I will supply you by air." The air bridge was fantasy. On good days, a fraction arrived. On bad days, nothing. A December relief attempt failed. Hopes flickered and died. The ring tightened, resistance broke. Ghosts emerged to surrender. On January 31st, Paulus was captured. Promotion could not force his suicide. On February 2nd, the last remnants capitulated. The Battle of Stalingrad was over. The surrender of the Sixth Army, annihilation and a strategic cataclysm. An entire German field army destroyed, the myth of invincibility shattered. 3 days of mourning in the Reich, a beacon of hope for the Allies. The strategic initiative passed to the Soviets. Germany went on the defensive. Hundreds of thousands of veterans lost, and with them thousands of tanks, guns, and aircraft. Soviet confidence and industry grew, beginning the long advance to Berlin. Stalingrad was the hinge of fate in the East. It taught brutal lessons: arrogance, logistics, supply lines, and winter adaptation. Above all, Stalingrad is a human story. Millions of soldiers and civilians. Courage, suffering, unbreakable will. The world changed forever in those frozen, blood-soaked streets. And the name remained, a scar that history would never forget.